Callie with Flower Moxie, and I wanted to show you how to make a simple organic centerpiece. Now, this is my favorite way to make a centerpiece, but we have so many options, and you can find those on our YouTube channel. For more in-depth videos, you'll have to join our DIY Academy, which is really step-by-step detailed, and I think you'll really like that. So I'm using our white lace chalice compote, and you can find this at flowermoxie.com along with all of the flowers that you'll see here today. So I'm using some floral foam already prepped and wet in my vase, but one step that you want to make sure you do not skip out on is using your tape to secure your foam into the vessel. You would also want to use this if you were using chicken wire or agro wool or an ocean couch. Whatever you're using in your vase, be sure to secure it. I like to make a cross section, double security. That's because I've gone to venues before where I didn't tape my foam or my mechanics down, and that water just kind of sloshes things around and it can mess up your design. Okay, we're prepped and ready. So I like to start with greenery on my centerpieces. I feel that it gives me a good shape to start with, it gives me a good base, and it covers my mechanics really well. I'm not gonna so much make a collar with this greenery, but I do wanna try to cover especially where I have the tape on the sides. So I'm actually gonna make 4 placements around the collar, the base of this vase, and make sure that that tape is covered first. This greenery I'm using is called Italian Pittosporum or Silver Queen Pittosporum. It's really cute and dainty. Sometimes it can shed a little bit. That's totally normal. It doesn't mean that it's bad. Actually, there's a piece right there I'm gonna pluck off. Just wanna be mindful of that. Okay, again, I'm kind of making my shape right now. So I wanna have some pieces coming out pretty long, extending out from the vase. And that is just to give me more shape. I don't want this to be roundy moundy because we're going for an organic style. Just because I'm making this organic does not mean I want it to be totally asymmetrical and wild. I'm still kind of balancing out this greenery a bit. I've got a long piece here, so I extended this one a bit longer this way. On that same note, I'm tucking some deeper inside, or deeper, closer into that foam. That's just to cover my mechanics, so I don't have to come in when I'm finished my design and try to cover those mechanics later. So I'm a little bit heavy-handed with my greenery to start, and that is totally fine. I just find that that works best for me, so I don't have to find those holes later. All right, I feel like this is a pretty good place to stop with my greenery, and I'm gonna go in with my largest flowers next. Typically, I would go in with line flowers after my greenery, but we're using what we have in the studio here, and I don't really have any snaps or stock or delphinium, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip to my mass flowers to cover space, and that would be mass or volume flowers, something like these white roses here. We actually just got these roses in yesterday, and they've blown open so quickly, and I know that's a little bit scary, but it's totally normal. Sometimes roses open quickly and they just stop opening. It doesn't mean that they're gonna continue opening until they just fall apart. It just means that that particular variety is a fast opener. I do like to design in a triangle. So you'll notice here I have my 1 rose, my 2 rows, and I want to put my 3rd in a triangle shape, and that just makes sure that since this is a centerpiece, it will look kind of similar, or it will look good from all angles. I have some really beautiful pink roses. I believe these are Juliet's or similar. I think I'm only going to use maybe 1 or 2 of these because this is a centerpiece, and I don't typically use a lot of garden roses in those because that can get really expensive pretty quickly. I do want this to be my focal point though, so I'm going to look at my arrangement and pick what I think will be like the best side and make sure that these roses are standing out. I'm going to anchor one down low and then have one right next to it so your eye really goes to that spot. Love that. All right. I've also got some little pieces of these Lisianthus. These would be great for things like boutonnieres or corsages, but also your scraps can be used in your centerpieces. And that's especially true if you're using something like foam or maybe a flatter chicken wire where you can extend it further than having to go all the way down to the water in a vase. So for this, I'm going to kind of extend these a little bit for that organic feel. So you'll notice how short this stem is, but that's not actually limiting the height that I can get in this arrangement. I've seen people throw away their scraps of Lisianthus or spray roses that maybe were bent during transit, and it breaks my heart because they can absolutely still be used. Now I have this little cluster of 2 right here. You can definitely see it. I see a little hole, and since these are all so small, I just want to make sure that there's more impact there, and I can do that by placing all 3 stems together. All right. All right, I'm seeing a bit of a hole here, but that's okay because I'm not done yet. I have these really beautiful pink Ranunculus. I think these will really fill in and accent these blushy, peachy roses we have here. To enhance that organic feel, I do want these to extend even further. So I'm not going to cut that super short, and I want that to be kind of coming out higher than all of the other flowers. I think Ranunculus is everyone's favorite flower anyway, so we'll give it a lot of attention here. Keeping in mind that this is a centerpiece, I don't want to go too heavy-handed with my Ranunculus. So I'm only going to use 3 of these and be very intentional with their placements. All right, I have one pretty big hole that I'm seeing here, and that's perfect for this rose. So we want to tuck it down deep to really cover the mechanics and the hole there, and also emphasize how the Ranunculus and the Lisianthus are coming out a little further. So you can see by tucking it down deep here, I've really added some depth and dimension to this. All right, and then the last step is always looking at it and looking for holes, looking for your mechanics, and then the easiest way to cover those is with your greenery. So I can see a little bit around the edge of the container, so I'm gonna take these little pieces and just add those to fill in. Okay, and there we have it, a really simple organic centerpiece using a 5 to 6 inch base. This is what we would call a large centerpiece if you see the recipes on the website, flowermoxie.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel where you can find some more different varieties of centerpieces, bouquets, and really a lot of different floral design options. And be sure to check out our DIY Academy, and that's where you'll get more in-depth, step-by-step instructions to show you how to DIY your wedding. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.